Hi, today we're gonna do my makeup, and I haven't worn makeup in 2 weeks, so I really want to make myself look cute and feel cute. And I haven't filmed one of these makeup videos in years, I think. So I'm a little nervous, and I'm also hyper focused on my ears right now. It's the headband. Anyway, let's get started. I want to leave the house for the first time in 2 weeks. I already prepped my skin with skincare. I used the Abib Yuja Essence Vitalizing Pump as my vitamin C, and then used the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast as moisturizer, and then the Summer Fridays sunscreen. I always use sunscreen even if it's dark outside, even in winter, no matter what. The only time I don't put sunscreen on is probably if I'm getting ready to go out at night. Like it's literally dark outside. Then I feel like it's a waste. But otherwise, no matter the weather, no matter how much light there is in the sky, no matter if we see the sun or if it's a cloudy, rainy day, sunscreen always. And I always drag the excess that is on my fingers down my neck. I do have some blemishes, so I'm gonna start by hiding these with my concealer. I'm using the Tower 28 concealer, and I can see I have some spots here, one here that is brand new, and then I want to hide these little spots. And I'll usually just wait a little bit before I blend this out, but I really want to get out of the house, so I'm just gonna blend, and I'm looking at my mirror. And that'll just give me a little bit more coverage. And I'm not really worried about blending it perfectly at this stage. So this is just to help with the redness, with the spots, all of that. Next, I'm gonna go in with foundation, and I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. Now this is brand new, I've only used it like twice, so I can't give you a full opinion on it. But I just put a little bit. I'm not a foundation all over girl. I only do foundation on my cheeks because that's where, see, I already hate the packaging. There's no point in me pumping it out because there's already too much on the pipe thing. So as I was saying, I'm not a foundation all over. I only put it where I need it, and that's on my cheeks mainly, and then I take the excess on my chin. So I'm just blending with my sponge. I've always been a sponge girl. I sometimes use only brushes, but I feel like sponges blend everything way better and nicer and make it look way more natural, and you won't have a lot of makeup on your face because it'll soak up a lot of it, like all the excess. So I love it. I just have to replace them pretty frequently. I get these from Amazon, by the way. These are the Papa sponges, and they're really good. I think they're the same as the original Beauty Blender. Now that I have my foundation on, I just go in with some concealer, and I usually just do a little bit here. I've been seeing the 2026 versus 2016 trend all over social, and it's really interesting how different it was before. Like, I would have put like 4 times this amount of concealer on my under eyes back then. It was the full triangle, like Kim K concealing hacks, which I think is insane. I don't know how we felt comfortable leaving our houses looking like that. I guess at the time it looked good, but looking back, it's just so much makeup. And I mean, if I have a wedding or an event or at night, I will put a little bit more makeup, but it's just so much. Next, I'm gonna go in with powder. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless powder, and I'm not very picky with my powders. I tend to stick to the drugstore because I use a lot of them, and then just spray over top to get rid of the powderiness. but I'd rather have everything set in place. And I'm just setting the T-zone, not too much on the forehead because so far we didn't put anything on there. If you haven't noticed, I just had to switch memory cards. So last thing we did was powder, and I made sure not to powder where a contour would go. So I'm just gonna use the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand and contour, and this is the medium shade, and I'm just using this to finish it up. It's really nice, I enjoy it, but it's been such a long time of me using it that I get bored. And I'm just putting a tiny little bit where I would like some contouring, and then I'm just going to blend it with this Refi brush that is not holding up well, if you can tell. Like, look at this thing. I'm not happy with this. I mean, I did buy it a year or two ago, but still, it's a no for me. So now I'm just blending, and I'm blending up, and I'm just holding my hairs back, which is why it looks awkward. And then I'm gonna blend here and make sure to go into my hairline as much as possible. And do my jawline. So as you can see, this dries pretty quickly. It's already patchy, but if it's an issue, you can always spray your face and keep blending. The contour on my jawline always dries super quickly, and I think it's because I always blend it last, so it stays there setting and drying pretty quickly. So most of the time I'll go in with a spray, which is what I'm gonna do now. I've been trying to go through this Mario Badescu facial spray for years now, so we're almost there. I just didn't want it to go to waste, so I use it for things like this, where I want to get rid of powderiness, or I need to keep blending and things are dry, and it works pretty well. I mean, it still smells pretty good and does the job. So I'm just blending down my neck, and you'll notice I didn't put any of this cream contour on my nose or around my lips because I have an oily T-zone and my nose tends to get pretty oily during the day, so I stick to powders around that area. Now, before I go in and bake in super powder, I'm gonna use a cream blush, and this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Cheek Tint in the color 53S. So this is what it looks like. And I just put a few dots. This is not a great product to use on top of powder, but I'm risking it right now just because I forgot that I wanted to use it, because it tends to separate. It doesn't work well with powder, but I usually stick to powdering my under eye rather than here, but I think I went overboard today. But it's working pretty fine. And I just put a little bit of it. It's not very pigmented, but I like the hint of pink that it gives and the sheen. I'm using this because I don't want to use a highlighter today, so I just wanted a little bit of glowiness, even though we're gonna fully powder in a minute, but this glowiness will stay, and I can always add a little bit more later. Next is bronzer. Now, I don't powder my entire face and then do bronzer and blushes. What I do is every cream has its setting powder. So for concealer, I have regular powder, foundation, regular powder. Cream contour gets set with a powder bronzer. Cream blush gets set by the bronzer because it's kind of the same area, and by a powder blush. So I'm not sure if that explains it clearly, but I hope it makes sense. It's just that I don't want the extra layer of powder on top of my contour because it's gonna ruin the color because it's not transparent or translucent. And I'm using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder in the shade 90. And I really like this one, except that you can't contour with it because it's pretty sparkly. So it's full of gold shimmer. I'm not sure if you're able to see this, but it's a really, really sparkly, glowy bronzer, and I just go in a little bit at a time because it's pretty pigmented, and I start from the back and then go into the front, and I kind of put this everywhere I put my contour. Now I would prefer to have more of a matte bronzer for my forehead and all of that jazz, but I've been too lazy to pick one up, so I've been using this and it's been working fine. It just gives me a little bit extra glow. To contour my nose, I use my eyeshadow palette. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes eyeshadow palette, and this is a palette that I've been using for the past 2 to 3 years every single day, and I love it. I mean, I don't need anything other than this on a daily basis, so I use this shade right here to contour. So I just take a little brush and then just go down the sides of my nose. I'm not a pro nose contourer, but I mean, I don't feel like I need a lot. I'm not trying to change the shape of anything. I just want the colors and the softness to match the rest of the face, and then I put whatever is left on my brush under my lip and on top, make them pop a little bit more. You can leave it as is and move on to the eyes, but I've been baking ever since I discovered the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder in the shade Cherry Blossom Cake, which is this pink color, and I really love this thing. I think it's the perfect powder. It smooths perfectly, it brightens because of the color, and I can't stop using it. I'm just gonna give it a little shake because it's pretty hard to get the powder out of this packaging. So you only get enough to do your under eyes. I contour and clean up my nose contour and then go under my eyes. And then I go in my smile lines and in the middle of my forehead with whatever's left on the powder puff. And if I have a little bit more on my chin, because this powder doesn't separate, it's absolutely heavenly. I also have the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, which is also great, and this is just a regular shade. Yeah, it's the shade Fair, and I just use a little bit of this to clean up the contour. This is not necessary at all, but honestly I'm just trying to use up the powder. I don't have a lot of it left in here. I don't know if you can see, there's only a tiny bit left. So we're almost done, and I won't have to repurchase another one because I'll just do this step with the Huda Beauty one. But I had to throw away so much makeup when I decluttered my collection because I couldn't stand having this much makeup anymore. Like all of the makeup palettes, like the eyeshadow palettes, I mean the face palettes, the every color lip liner and every color lipstick on earth. I just could not anymore. I don't know what happened. I guess it's the frontal lobe developing and we're just getting old. So I decluttered my makeup a few times and got rid of all of the old palettes, even the iconic ones. I just kept one big Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette because I used to love that thing, and I've used it on so many people, and I've used it on my wedding day, so I love that palette. It's amazing. I just don't use it day to day because of how big it is. It doesn't fit in my bathroom vanity drawer, so other than that I would be using it, but I've just been using this guy for years now, and I don't even think of the other one on a daily basis. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, why I don't want to throw things away. So like the Fit Me Loose Powder, I could use it to clean up my contour, so I used it I think for the past year just to do that. I don't put it under my eyes because I love the Huda Beauty, and I'm almost finished with it, so that didn't go to waste. But yeah, but like my old Jeffree Star palettes, all of the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, well, those I gave to my mom along with my Kylie Cosmetics eyeshadows. You know the first palettes, the bronzy palette and the burgundy palette with the eyes on them, they were like a square and they had the eyes. Those were the best eyeshadows ever, but I just wasn't using them. I just wanted something small and compact for my vanity, something practical, and I was really trying to make my morning routine, like work, makeup, pretty quick and practical. I didn't want to go through a million palettes, and you know, so I ended up giving those to my mom, the Anastasia and the Kylie, and I think she broke the whole set. Like she dropped it and they broke, because I had depotted them back when it was a trend to depot eyeshadows and put them in a Z palette, and I hope you know what I'm talking about. This is so vintage. Yeah, and she dropped the whole thing and broke them recently, but at least she used them and loved them for a while. But yeah, anything that I wasn't using or didn't see myself using, I either tried to give them to people or I just got rid of them because they're old. But anything that I could use in one way or another, I kept so that I could just go through it slowly. I just did my brows. I filled them in a little bit with the NYX Precision Brow Pencil in the shade Espresso. It's this guy. This is the shade, and I've used this for years. And I just fill in my arch because it's pretty sparse on this eye and a little bit here. This eyebrow is pretty much perfect to me. And then we're gonna move on to eyeshadow, which is pretty minimal these days. Like I said, I use the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes. And if I'm really putting in my energy and the time to do my eyes, I will start with this white shade and mix it with this peachy nude, and then just prep my eyelid with that all over, just to have a smooth matte base. And then I go in with the actual colors. What I've been doing every single day is a cool toned brown all over, so I go in with this one, just a tiny little bit of it on the brush, and then I do that all over my lid. I remember back when we used to do orange eyes and burgundy and all these warm tones, and I think I should try it one day, but I can't get over the cool toned eye. Like, I don't know how, like, I think it doesn't suit me anymore, or maybe it never suited me, but I just went with it. Like all the warm tones. But it's funny how things change and how preferences change, and usually this is all I do, like it's not in your face. I'm just gonna add a little bit more white to the inner corner just because I was just watching a video of someone who did it and it looked pretty nice. So we're here, might as well. And that's all I do. I can also take a little bit of this shade that I used to contour my nose with and go in the eyelid and bring it into the nose area, and I think this ties everything in pretty nicely. At this point, we're ready to wipe all of the excess powder off my face, so I'm just gonna take my powder brush and just get rid of any lines, anything harsh that we can see, and blend it all in. And I try to avoid the area where I have the glowiness, like where I put the blush and most of the bronzer, just so that I don't mattify it. This is where I would add a little bit more bronzer if the bake just took away too much, but I don't feel like I need it right now. So before I go in with any gels, eyeliners, mascaras, I'm gonna spray my face so that we can get rid of the powdery look. And again, I'm gonna use the Mario Badescu. At one point, this is another thing from the collection that I was over and wanted to get rid of, but it felt like a waste because it was brand new, it was full, which is why I'm still using it like 5 years later. I'm pretty sure I had this pre-moving to Canada. But at one point I did use the Morphe spray and I loved that thing. So I would definitely get that again, the black bottle, once I'm done with this one, because that did a great job at setting and getting rid of all of the... It's more of a finishing spray, so not really a setting spray where it sets your makeup to last, and more of a finishing spray where it makes everything blend together and look nice again. But if you want a nice setting spray, I think you need to get the One Size On Till Dawn spray. I only have a small size of this because I took this on a trip with me when I had a wedding abroad, and it was perfect. My makeup lasted all day, all night, except that I don't use this daily because it really smells like alcohol, and I'm pretty sure it sets that well because it has alcohol. Yeah, alcohol is like the second ingredient on there, and if you don't know, the first ingredients on the list are what you will find the most of in the product. So like if the last ingredient is, let's say it's water, it's not, it's something complicated, but if the last ingredient on the list is water, it means there's the least amount of water in there compared to all the other ingredients. So yeah, I don't like to use that every day, but now that we're feeling good, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of, actually I'm gonna curl my lashes and then I'll move on to eyeliner. I never used to curl my lashes, but I don't know what happened in the past years. Now I have to curl my lashes all the time. So this is what we're doing. If I'm not wearing any mascara, I usually just curl and it just opens up your eye, and I think it looks right. Now we're just gonna do a little bit of eyeliner. Most days I do powder, some days I do liquid. It just depends on the mood and how much energy I have, honestly. But this is the NYX Epic Ink liner in the color black. I love this in black and brown. I think I finished my brown one and just forgot all about it and never repurchased it. But all I do, because I have hooded eyes, is the little wing at the end. I don't go all over because it really makes your eyes smaller, and it's also way more difficult to get a straight, even thickness line. So I just do the little wing, and I'm gonna shut up for this. And that's all I do. I try my best to make them look the same, but that is so unrealistic. Like, my eyes aren't even the same. So how's the eyeliner gonna be the same? But I try my best just to look presentable. Like, we're no longer professional makeup artists. Now I'm gonna set my brows with the Refi, what is this called? Clear Brow Sculpt. This is it. It has brushes on one side, and then the product is in here. It's like a white waxy product, and I love this thing. I've repurchased it. Whoa! I've repurchased this so many times. It's my favorite. I don't see any faults to it. I think it shapes and holds exactly the way I want. This is what I do on a daily basis. I do a full face with no mascara. For the sake of the video, I'm just gonna put some mascara on. So I'm gonna use the YSL Lash Clash, which is what I've been using for the past few months, and I love this thing. I think a very close dupe to this is the Kylie Cosmetics Kylash, and that one is really, really good. Like, I would say the Kylash is #1, and this is a close #2. Just because you can't beat the price of the other one, and the look that it gives you is absolutely insane. And that's the mascara. Now it's minus 20 degrees outside, so I'm pretty sure this was a mistake and I shouldn't have put any mascara on, but I hope it stays on my face. And then we're gonna use my favorite blush, the Kylie Pressed Blush Powder in the shade Winter Kissed. I love the Dior Backstage #1 pink blush. That is my favorite. And this is another favorite. I think they're in the same lane, like quality wise, looks wise. Love it, love it. But then again, this is cheaper. And I only bought this one because I broke my Dior. I dropped it and broke it. And I had so much left in there, but I had hit pan. I was so proud of it. But I was heartbroken, so I didn't want to repurchase it. But it's in my cart right now. And I also want to try the lilac shade. But this has been a daily staple for the last, I think, year or two, since I think I broke the Dior blush around the same time last year, around the beginning of the year. Next, and this is just a me thing, but it's because I have so many beauty marks on my face. I take a Q-tip with a little bit of micellar water. I use the Bioderma Sensibio one, and I just clean the makeup off my beauty marks. One of my biggest icks is a beauty mark looking like this or these, where it's a little bit grayed out because there's a little bit of makeup on top. And I also think that when I clean the makeup off of them, it helps my makeup look more natural, like it's not that full coverage. I also have this one here that is not very dark, so it always looks weird. And then I take off any foundation or anything that is on my lips. For the lips, I'm gonna use one of my winter favorites. I bought this last winter, used it then, and then it's back around this winter, and this is the Victoria Beckham Bitten Lip Tint in the shade Bisou. So it's beautiful. Look at this packaging, and it's like a dark burgundy shade, but it's a little bit terracotta-y. I'll show you. Like, it's warmer than it looks on the doe foot. And I just use this everywhere. And it's not the most long-lasting thing, even though it says it's a lip tint. I don't find it super long-lasting. Like, it's not a classic lip tint and you don't peel it off. It's not one of those. But it just leaves this bitten look, exactly what it's called. It's called the Bitten Lip Tint. And it's exactly what it does. It makes your lips look bitten. And it's gonna fade. I don't really like when it's this much color. Just to line a little bit, I'm gonna use the Rhode Peptide Lip Shape in the shade Lift. I like this, but it's also not long lasting at all. I had to glue, like super glue the little cap on the bottom so I can't use the little silicone thing anymore, but it was just pissing me off. Every time I would get it out of a bag, the cap would be off roaming around, so I was over it. Like, the silicone thing was always going to be dirty anyway because the cap was never on it, so might as well just glue it shut and never use it. I just do the center at the bottom and the top. Once this is completely dry, which it is, it's a little bit tacky, so it's not the most comfortable thing. I just like the look of it. I go in with a lip balm, and I'm going to use the Gisou Honey Glaze Collagen Therapy Lip Mask. This is what it looks like. It's so freaking cute, but Gisou's packaging just can't be topped. And I made a huge mistake and dunked the whole thing, like the spatula in it, because that's what I used to use with that's what I used to do with my Laneige, but the pot can't handle it, it's too small, so I kind of fucked it all up. But it comes with this little spatula guy. Ugh, this is so gross, but yeah, it's this honey collagen, smells really fresh and nice lip balm. And that's it for my everyday makeup look. Now, if I wanted, I could go in with a little bit of highlight, or, I mean, that's it. But I'm not going to today because I really want to get out of here. It's 2:30 and I really want to be outside when it's light. So I'm just going to put a quick outfit on, fix my bangs, and then I'll give you a better look than this with the stupid bangs that I haven't touched in days. Look at this. I hate how my hair goes flat on this spot. It pisses me off so much. Anyway, we're gonna have to get over it. I'll be back. Alright, so here's the final look. Just glowy naturally, but still full face. And I went with this butter yellow sweater, and I'm just wearing my uniform, which is my Adidas sweatpants, because I need to be comfy. But I didn't put my heat tech leggings underneath, which I might regret, but we shouldn't be doing a lot of walking outside. I'm really happy that I filmed this. It feels like the good old days, but a little bit more casual. I'm not sitting down and explaining every single step in depth, and there's also not as many steps. But I hope you still enjoyed this, and yeah, I did. So I'll see you in the next video, whatever it is. Bye!